Hey guys, Prince of Macedon here, and welcome to Christmas, Florida. Population of about 1,000. I hear that the cows here outnumber the population by 2 to 1. Anyways, I'm standing here at the post office of Christmas, Florida, and this is one of the biggest reasons to come here. Like during Christmas time, this place gets really busy because people want to mail off their letters and get the postmark Christmas all over their letters. Anyways, this place was actually named after Fort Christmas, and when the post office was established in 1892, the place here changed its name to just Christmas. So since then, it's been Christmas year-round. Anyways, my adventure today, I'll be going to Fort Christmas. It's a replica fort of the fort built during the Second Seminole Indians War. Hey guys, I finally made it to the Fort Christmas museum area, and this is operated by a historical society. Anyway, this is about 2 miles away from that post office I was just at, and I'll be checking out the sites here. The highlight of this will be the actual fort that was built in 1837. Oh man, I just found out that there's no bicycles, roller skates, or skateboarding allowed here. Gosh, that really sucks. I came here planning to skateboard. In any case, there's a basketball court right there. I'm gonna shoot some hoops. Well, apparently you can't skateboard on the tennis court either. Alright guys, this is the area outside of the fort. And there's other things to do besides going inside the fort, but as you guys know, I just prefer the military aspect of history. And check out that bathroom. Even the bathroom is fortified. There's a baseball field out there. And there's other structures to explore here. So check it out guys. Not only do I get to learn history, I can also get a good workout. Remember this guys? The monkey bars. This is always a favorite of mine in grade school. Doing the monkey bars. Like, oh! Alright guys, so you can see right behind me is the fort. That's Fort Christmas, and that's actually a replica of Fort Christmas. The original was built in 1837, and it was actually located a mile north of this position here. And the history behind this fort is that in 1830, President Andrew Jackson signed the Indian Removal Act, which basically stated that the Native Americans had to move west. And in keeping with that act, in 1832 there was the Treaty of Payne's Landing, which basically was a supposed agreement between the Seminoles and the U.S., in which the Seminoles would have to move west of the Mississippi and live with the Creeks. But the Seminoles did not want to leave this place because they considered this their home. And in 1834, the U.S. Senate ratified the Treaty of Payne's Landing, which basically gave the Native Americans 1 year to pack up and move. And of course, the Native Americans did not budge. And then President Andrew Jackson sent a letter to the Seminole leaders telling them basically that if you guys do not move, then we have instructed our military to remove you by force. And of course, the Seminoles did not want to budge. And this led up to the Second Seminole War, which lasted from 1835 to 1842, which was probably one of the most expensive and bloodiest Indian wars in U.S. history. So on December 25, 1837, 2,000 elements of the U.S. Army and Alabama volunteers came here to begin construction of this fort. And of course that's the reason why it's called Fort Christmas, because construction began on Christmas Day. And this was originally built as a supply depot for the advancing U.S. Army against the Seminoles. But in March 1838, this fort was actually abandoned because the war had moved so far south that the purpose of this fort was no longer needed. Alright guys, I'm gonna sneak into that fort now. Alright guys, don't worry, that dramatic reenactment is over now. Alright, let's go look inside the fort. You can see that it's quite tiny actually. This is inside the fort. And I read online that it only garrisoned 8 soldiers. So when the rest of the army went south to campaign against the Seminoles, only 8 guys stayed behind. Alright, you see that big structure right there, that tall one? That is a blockhouse, and that was built as a lookout and also as protection against an attack. And on the opposite corner is another blockhouse, and it's right over here. And because of the positioning, this gave a good all-around lookout and protection of the fort. And right smack in the middle here, that is a storehouse, and that was built for storing supplies and rations. And over on this side right here, that little structure right there, that is a powder magazine, and that was built for storing ammunition. And right over here, that was used for cooking right here. Alright, let's go look inside each structure. Down here, this is the entrance to the powder magazine, and this was used for storing ammunition. If you look down there, you can see the ammunition crates and boxes. Gonna go inside the storehouse. Alright guys, I'm inside the storehouse right now, and it's pretty cool. They have all kinds of things on display here. Right here's a little ship. That's the Eliza Hancock's little model. I'm crushing it. And there's also all kinds of equipment in here that would have been stored inside here. What do we got here? We have a little pitchfork right there. We got a buzzsaw, and look at that little look at that mallet right there. That thing's massive. If you ever ran out of ammunition, all you gotta do is get that mallet and like hit someone's head with it. Alright, I'm standing at the entrance to one of these blockhouses. There's one on this corner and there's one on the opposite corner of the fort. And basically these were built as lookouts for the fort and as protection for the troops in the event of an attack. And you can actually go inside these things. Alright guys, I'm inside the blockhouse here, and look what's inside here. All kinds of cool stuff. And if you go upstairs, you can see a little program on the Seminole Wars. But I'm going to look down here first and see what we got. Check this out guys, here is an American flag of 1837. You can see there's only 26 stars. Florida is not yet a state. Alright guys, this is what I'm talking about here. This is a display of 19th century weaponry in the US. And what we have right here on the second row here, this is a Holley carbine breech loading rifle. That's the kind of rifle that you would see during the Seminole Wars. Over here, that is a flintlock pistol. That's also the kind of pistol that you would see during the Seminole Wars as well. So I very much approve of this display here. Alright guys, I'm going to the second floor. I'm going to check out what's up here. And along the stairs, you can see the everyday clothing of the Seminole people. It's very beautiful. Alright guys, I'm on the second floor of this blockhouse, and up here you can see all kinds of things, but I like this part right here. You can see the period clothing. This guy in blue, that is a second lieutenant in the Dragoons. The guy in white, this is a U.S. infantryman wearing the summer outfit, and he carries the Harper's Ferry rifle. And right next to him, this is Chief Osceola, the Seminole chief. And if you guys go to Florida State, you would know that this guy is the mascot of the Florida State Seminoles. Alright guys, so I showed you all around the fort here, and I gotta say, it's pretty small, but it's amazing though, because something this small led to this whole area being named Fort Christmas, now known as Christmas, Florida.